Talk about influencers. These are influencers, and they're friends of mine. Jack Posobiec. Where's Jack? Jack, who's done a great job.
All right, folks, we're back. Human Events Daily, Real America's Voice. Ladies and gentlemen, I've got some great news for all of you. Blackout Coffee is back with a great offer for you and the Human Events Daily audience. For years, this has been my coffee of choice, and I know so many of you have missed it just like I have. And I can hear producer Russ is talking about how much he loves it too. This isn't just coffee, it's America in a cup. Founded on Christian values, rooted in family, and built on the belief that hard-working Americans, look, you just deserve better than the corporate swill that's out there that's passing for coffee. We know that Blackout Coffee is a family business. It roasts every batch right here in the USA. 2 roasts you got to try. Morning Reaper, this one's great. A smooth medium roast that kicks off your day without any bitterness. And for the dark roast lovers, I got to say, I love Brutal Awakening. It is a bold, rich roast with deep flavor that keeps you sharp and alert. It's perfect for serving friends and family all around the holidays. We got Halloween coming up. We got Thanksgiving. Then, of course, Christmas, New Year's. It's all coming, and it's coming fast. Gatherings start with the best coffee. So here's the deal. Go to blackoutcoffee.com/POSO and use promo code POSO for 20% off your first order. That's blackoutcoffee.com/POSO. And hey, support a company that shares your values, supports American jobs, and fuels your freedom. One strong cup at a time. Coming back on with Will Chamberlain. And Will, so you reminded me during the break that the invasion question, that was the Alien Enemies Act, right? That the administration was originally using to to remove illegal aliens in an emergency situation. What was the status of that case? Did they ever end up, was that adjudicated?
Yeah, and I think ultimately, the funny thing is I actually don't remember much of the outcome. I think it got mooted effectively when Venezuela agreed to take back all the people who were subject to the Alien Enemies Act in El Salvador. So I don't remember the exact outcome, but I don't think the administration lost.
Yeah, I think they'd actually. I think you're right. I think they actually did win, though. But of course, we'll caveat that with that. We'll double check on it because this is so key, though. Here, these federal judges. And Will, look, you were around in the first administration. I remember you used to write some great articles for humanevents.com. We should probably get you to try to do that again sometime. And talking about different legal strategies that could be used, the emergency fund, declaring an emergency for the use of funds to build the border wall was one of your ideas that I believe the administration actually did end up adopting. But here's a difference. We're not seeing the administration really back down from these local, district judges in federal district, but they're still, they're still confined to one locality. We are not seeing that, are we?
No, because we're on the right side of the law. There was this big meme going around, especially at the beginning of the administration when all these injunctions were coming down fast and furious, that it's the administration that's behaving lawlessly. Look at all these injunctions. And then now the Trump administration's on an incredible winning streak at the Supreme Court. I think we're at 20 in a row, 20 wins in a row, unheard of. I don't think any administration's gotten close to that. And what it's revealed is not that the administration was behaving lawlessly, but that these lower court judges who thought they were entitled to resist the administration were behaving lawlessly. And I think that's exactly the outcome you're going to see in this Oregon case. I'll put this out there for people. If anybody wants to bet on the outcome here and whether the Supreme Court's going to ultimately reverse this person, I'll give you 10-1 odds, right? 10-1 odds that this temporary restraining order doesn't survive because it's lawless.
Will Chamberlain giving out 10-1 odds. Now, is that Kalshi, Will? Where do I don't know where people go to take you up on that.
People might arbitrage on me. That might not be good.
Exactly. All right. So that's Will Chamberlain, folks. Give him out your 10-1 odds. Step up all takers. Will. So here's another one though. All right. Since we're talking odds. Jay Jones, this reprobate who's running for attorney general, he has this huge scandal on his hands because it came out in text messages that, of course, Neera Tanden is telling us those are private text messages. They shouldn't count. That's an incredible legal standard. I don't know if I've ever heard that one before, but okay, for someone running for attorney general, I'm sure everyone that is on the other side of you in court is certainly going to be using that from now on. These messages, though, where he's talking about killing a political opponent, his wife, and their children, desecrating their grave. Will, do you think that he's actually going to drop out? Because it seems like the Democrats, including Yevgeny Vindman, are just driving on and continuing to re-endorse him in the face of direct murderous rhetoric.
This is a tougher line to set because he's not an office holder. I think there's a reasonable chance he's forced to drop out by the Democrats because they're really not going to be happy with getting drowned in ads a month before the election. They might think that he's dragging down the entire Democratic ticket in Virginia and will ultimately bring them all down. So probably 40% chance.
I think that's, look, for the Virginia Republicans, that's what you've got to go all in on this thing. Because, and let me just say something too, because this isn't, just some abstract thing. All right. It's been 26 days since Charlie Kirk was murdered. And I know there were some people asking, well, why wasn't the burial public? And it was because of people like this. It was because of people like this, because he's talking about going and defacing the graves. And that's exactly what would happen with Charlie if that were made public. This is what's so disgusting. And Will, it's like people don't even act like it's happening.
Oh, yeah, there's a real problem on the left. There's a bloodthirstiness. I realize that my tolerance for partisan Democrats at the moment is extremely low because clearly there's a large faction of the left that if they weren't actually trying to kill you, they would be perfectly happy to see you dead. And then there's another large portion of the left that wouldn't be willing to say anything if you were killed or would just be indifferent to their friends cheering you on. So it's hard to know what to do about this political party right now and its members in terms of understanding that they need to be brought back to reality and civility. But I will say this, the basic way that representative democracy functions is that the parties honor each other, that they don't treat each other as the embodiment of all evil. Because in a world where they do that, suddenly the peaceful transfer of power becomes very much an open question.
Right, because it goes from a situation where, obviously, as Charlie stood for, peaceful debate to, I don't want peaceful debate, I want to oppress you and remove your right to even exist. Will Chamberlain, where can people go to follow you and all the great work you guys are putting up?
At Will Chamberlain on X is where you'll find most of my commentary. Also follow the Article 3 project on our various action items that you can essentially bug your House representatives and senators to do what you want at a3paction.com.
All right, go follow Will. Go follow the great Mike Davis over there, Article 3. Folks, coming up next, huge New Jersey update with Scott Presler.